the most physically gifted quarterback prospect since Cam Newton. A 6 feet 4 inches, 244-pound athletic freak who ran a 4.4340 at the Combine. The 4th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. The future of the Indianapolis Colts franchise. And now, a backup quarterback who can't stay healthy, can't hit open receivers, and can't keep his starting job from Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones? What the hell happened to Anthony Richardson? 2 years ago, Richardson was being compared to Josh Allen and Cam Newton, raw but generational talents who just needed time and coaching to reach their potential. Today, he's being compared to Jamarcus Russell and Akili Smith, physical marvels who never translated their gifts to NFL success. The story of Anthony Richardson isn't just about one player's struggles. It's about the dangers of drafting on potential over production. It's about the NFL's obsession with physical traits at the quarterback position. And it's about how quickly the league can build you up and tear you down when you don't meet expectations. Before we start, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive in. Let's rewind to where it all began. Gainesville, Florida, 2022. Richardson is entering his first full season as Florida's starting quarterback after sitting behind Emory Jones for most of 2021. The hype is already building. At 6 feet 4 inches and 244 pounds with 4.4 speed, Richardson looks like he was created in a lab. His arm strength is off the charts. He can flick his wrist and send the ball 70 yards downfield. His running ability is terrifying. He hurdles defenders, breaks tackles, and outruns defensive backs in the open field. The problem? He can't consistently hit open receivers. In his only full season as a college starter, Richardson completes just 53.8% of his passes. He throws for 2,549 yards with 17 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Solid numbers, but nowhere near what you'd expect from a top 5 draft pick. Florida finishes 6th and 7th, and Richardson's draft stock is a polarizing topic among analysts. Some see the next Josh Allen, a physically gifted quarterback with accuracy issues who just needs the right coaching and development. Others see a project who shouldn't be drafted before the 3rd round. The Combine changes everything. Richardson puts on a show for the ages in Indianapolis. He runs a 4.43 40-yard dash, faster than many wide receivers. His 40.5-inch vertical jump and 10 feet 9 inches broad jump are both combined records for quarterbacks. In throwing drills, he shows off his cannon arm, drawing audible gasps from scouts when he effortlessly launches 70-yard bombs. The physical testing catapults Richardson up draft boards. Never mind the 53.8% completion percentage. Never mind the limited college experience, just 13 starts total. Never mind the inconsistent decision-making. The traits are too tantalizing to pass up. The Indianapolis Colts, desperate for a franchise quarterback after the failed Carson Wentz experiment and the Matt Ryan disaster, select Richardson 4th overall in the 2023 NFL Draft. New head coach Shane Steichen, fresh off his success developing Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia, seems like the perfect mentor for a raw talent like Richardson. The plan is clear. Richardson will sit behind veteran Gardner Minshew for at least half the season, learning the offense and adjusting to NFL speed without the pressure of starting right away. It's a solid plan, a patient plan, a plan that lasts exactly 0 regular season games. After an impressive preseason, where Richardson shows flashes of his immense potential, Steichen names him the Week 1 starter against Jacksonville. The decision is met with mixed reactions. Some praise the Colts for not wasting time with a bridge quarterback. Others worry that Richardson isn't ready and that throwing him into the fire could stunt his development. Richardson's rookie season is a roller coaster that ends almost as quickly as it begins. In Week 1 against Jacksonville, he completes just 24 of 37 passes for 223 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, but adds 40 yards and a touchdown on the ground. The Colts lose 31-21, but Richardson shows enough flashes to generate excitement. In Week 2 against Houston, disaster strikes. Richardson suffers a concussion in the first half and misses the rest of the game. He returns in Week 4 against the Rams and puts on a show, throwing for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns while rushing for 56 yards and another score. For a moment, it looks like the Colts have found their franchise quarterback. Then comes Week 5 against Tennessee. Richardson scrambles for a first down in the second quarter, gets tackled awkwardly, and immediately grabs his right shoulder in pain. The diagnosis is devastating: a grade 3 AC joint sprain requiring season-ending surgery. Just like that, Richardson's rookie season is over after less than 3 full games. The final stat line is tantalizing but limited: 577 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, plus 136 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Not enough to draw any real conclusions, but enough to keep the hype train rolling into 2024. The Colts spend the offseason building around Richardson. They re-sign wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. to a 3-year, $71.5 million contract. They draft Texas wide receiver Adonai Mitchell in the second round. They also draft offensive linemen Tanner Bortolini and Matt Goncalves to bolster the offensive linemen. Everything is in place for Richardson to take a sophomore leap. Training camp reports are glowing. Beat writers rave about Richardson's improved accuracy and decision-making. Teammates praise his command of the huddle and leadership. Steichen tells reporters that Richardson is light years ahead of where he was as a rookie. Fantasy football analysts tout Richardson as a potential breakout star, citing his rushing upside and improved supporting cast. Richardson resumed his role as starter after shoulder surgery, but his early numbers struggled. In his first 6 games, he managed an NFL-worst 44.4% completion rate, often missing on routine passes despite making occasional big plays. In Week 8 against Houston, he threw for 175 yards and a touchdown, but completed just 10 of 32 passes and was briefly sidelined by a need to catch his breath. Following mounting struggles, Richardson was benched for veteran Joe Flacco. After 2 losses, the Colts reinstated Richardson as starter in Week 11. He responded with arguably his best game: 67% completions and a career-high 272 passing yards, plus 2 rushing touchdowns and a comeback win over the Jets. In Week 13, he orchestrated a 19-play, 80-yard go-ahead drive and completed a crucial 2-point conversion to beat the Patriots. Richardson missed the final 2 games of the season due to a back injury, and the team missed the playoffs. The 4th overall pick was supposed to be the franchise savior. It's a stunning fall from grace for a player who was being touted as a potential superstar. The final stat line for Richardson's second season is concerning: 1,814 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, with a 47.7% completion rate. He adds 499 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. But the turnovers and inaccuracy overshadow the explosive plays. The 2025 offseason brings more questions than answers for Richardson and the Colts. Instead of handing the keys back to Richardson, the Colts acquired Daniel Jones from the Vikings. They also draft Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard in the 6th round. The message is clear: Richardson is no longer viewed as the unquestioned starter. Training camp becomes a quarterback competition between Richardson and Jones. The reports out of camp are mixed. Richardson still makes the most spectacular throws, but Jones is more consistent. After 3 preseason games, Steichen makes the announcement that rocks the NFL world: Daniel Jones will be the Colts' Week 1 starter. Richardson, the 4th overall pick just 2 years earlier, is officially a backup. The fall from franchise savior to clipboard holder is complete. So what the hell happened to Anthony Richardson? How did a quarterback with his physical gifts end up on the bench just 2 years into his NFL career? I've identified 5 key factors that explain Richardson's stunning fall from grace. Factor number 1, the injuries. You can't develop if you're not on the field, and Richardson has missed 17 games and played only 16 games in his NFL career. The shoulder injury as a rookie cost him valuable development time. The meniscus tear in year 2 not only sidelined him, but also limited his mobility when he returned. taking away one of his greatest strengths. But it's not just the major injuries. Richardson has been dealing with nagging issues since college. Hamstring strains, ankle sprains, finger injuries. His physical playing style puts him at greater risk than traditional pocket passers. At 6 feet 4 inches and 244 pounds, he's a big target for defenders, and his willingness to lower his shoulder and take on contact has led to unnecessary hits. The durability concerns that some scouts raised before the draft have proven valid. Richardson's body simply hasn't held up to the rigors of NFL football, and with each injury, his development has been stunted, creating a vicious cycle of missed time and stalled progress. Factor number 2, the mechanical issues. Richardson's throwing mechanics have been inconsistent since college. He has a tendency to throw off his back foot, fail to set his base properly, and rely on his arm strength rather than proper technique. These issues were masked at Florida by his incredible arm talent, but they've been exposed at the NFL level. The problem is that mechanical issues are hard to fix once they're ingrained. Richardson has been throwing a certain way his entire life. Changing those habits requires thousands of repetitions and constant reinforcement. The injuries have interrupted this process, making it nearly impossible for Richardson to develop the muscle memory needed for consistent mechanics. When Richardson does throw with proper mechanics, the results are spectacular. His arm talent is undeniable, but those moments have been too few and far between, leading to the inconsistency that has defined his NFL career so far. Factor number 3, the processing speed. The NFL game is faster and more complex than college. Quarterbacks have to make pre-snap reads, go through progressions quickly, and make split-second decisions under pressure. This is where Richardson has struggled the most. At Florida, Richardson often relied on his first read. If it wasn't there, he'd use his legs to create something out of nothing. That approach doesn't work consistently in the NFL, where defenses are too sophisticated and athletes too talented. Richardson has struggled to process information quickly enough, leading to hesitation, sacks, and turnovers. This isn't surprising given his limited college experience, just 13 starts at Florida, but it's a critical weakness that has prevented him from translating his physical gifts into on-field success. The game still looks too fast for him, and that's a problem that can't be solved with arm strength or athleticism. Factor number 4, the accuracy issues. Richardson's 54.7% completion rate in college should have been a red flag, but teams convinced themselves that his accuracy would improve with better coaching and more experience. That hasn't happened. His NFL completion percentage of 50.6% ranks last among all quarterbacks with at least 300 attempts over the past 2 seasons. The accuracy problems stem from a combination of mechanical issues, processing speed, and a lack of touch on short and intermediate throws. Richardson can hit the spectacular deep ball, but he struggles with the routine passes that keep an offense on schedule. In the NFL, consistency is more valuable than occasional brilliance, and Richardson hasn't shown the ability to consistently hit open receivers. Factor number 5, the organizational pressure. The Colts haven't had a franchise quarterback since Andrew Luck's shocking retirement in 2019. They've cycled through Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Gardner Minshew, and Joe Flacco. The pressure to find a long-term solution led them to rush Richardson's development. Starting him week 1 as a rookie was a mistake. Richardson needed time to develop behind the scenes, to work on his mechanics and processing speed without the pressure of game action. Instead, he was thrown into the fire before he was ready, setting up a cycle of injuries, mechanical regression, and lost confidence. The Colts also failed to build an offense that maximized Richardson's strengths and minimized his weaknesses. Instead of simplifying reads, using more play action, and designing an offense around his mobility, they asked him to operate a traditional drop-back passing game that exposed his limitations. So where does Richardson go from here? Is his career as a starter already over, or is there still hope for a turnaround? History suggests it's an uphill battle. Quarterbacks who lose their starting jobs this early rarely reclaim them and go on to successful careers. For every Ryan Tannehill who revived his career in Tennessee after failing in Miami, there are dozens of players like Josh Rosen, Paxton Lynch, Johnny Manziel, who never got another real opportunity. But Richardson's physical tools are so exceptional that it's hard to write him off completely. He's still just 23 years old. He's under contract with the Colts for 2 more seasons, plus a 5th-year option. If he can stay healthy, fix his mechanics, and improve his processing speed, there's still a path to NFL success. The most likely scenario is that Richardson gets another chance, either with the Colts if Jones struggles, or with another team via trade. But that chance will come with significantly lower expectations and a shorter leash. He'll no longer be viewed as a franchise savior, but as a reclamation project with tantalizing upside. The cautionary tale of Anthony Richardson should serve as a warning to NFL teams infatuated with physical traits at the quarterback position. Arm, strength, size, and athleticism are important, but they're not enough on their own. Accuracy, processing speed, and durability matter more at the NFL level. The next time a quarterback with a sub-55% completion rate in college runs a 4.440 at the combine, teams should remember what happened with Richardson before using a top 5 pick. For Richardson himself, the story isn't over. He's too talented to be written off completely, but the path forward is much steeper than anyone imagined when he was drafted. The physical gifts that made him the 4th overall pick are still there. The question is whether he can develop the other skills needed to harness those gifts and become the quarterback the Colts thought they were getting. What do you think? Is Anthony Richardson a bust, or is it too early to make that judgment? Can he still develop into a franchise quarterback, or are his flaws too significant to overcome? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.